Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Everton versus West Ham United, Goodison Park, 12:30 on Saturday. And joined by Andy.
Hooray!
As you know, he's really enthused about. Aren't you looking forward to getting back into it?
Do you know what? I love club football, so yeah, I am looking forward to getting back into it. And you get like a warm, fuzzy feeling on the weekend when the Premier League's back and the Championship's back. Most of the Premier League, obviously, for Everton, but it's nice to be back into the norm because I hate international breaks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. And obviously, if Everton were doing much better, I'd be really up for the game. Don't get me wrong, it's West Ham, so I'm up for the game anyway because I hate West Ham. But yeah,
Apologies to any Hammers there watching.
No.
But I mean, I know what you mean, because of the way we went into the international break. We've lost the last 4 league games, which has been poor to say the least. It does take away that excitement's probably not the right word anyway, but it takes away that enthusiasm for can't wait to get back, want to watch it, can we perform? And I think there's a lot of trepidation around this game, because I think if Everton were doing all right and it was win one, lose one kind of thing, I think people would just be like, right, come on, let's get everything right at the weekend. But obviously there's a lot of question marks over Marco Silva's future from supporters, from the media, still churning it out. Mourinho mentioned again, there's Hentag, Arteta, more. The names are everywhere, they're endless, the stories are every couple of days. Now, we had this story the other week that the manager had been given 3 games to save his job, and we don't know when that started. Is Saturday the 3rd game? Is Saturday the 1st game? We don't know. And that always seems bizarre to me anyway, because what if he lost 5-0 on Saturday? Would he keep his job? So that's...
You never put limits on things.
No, you can't. I don't think you can. You either back your manager or you don't. Do you know what I mean? They either come out and go, he's not going anywhere.
I suppose it could have been the dreaded vote of confidence, but it wasn't really, because I don't think anyone at the club actually said that, did they?
No, I mean, it's all been...
It's all rumouring in the
What I think is interesting, we'll just stay on the Silva thing just for a minute. What I think is interesting is more of the journalists who we now are aligned with the club. Andy Hunter, Dominic King, Paul Joyce.
3 of them are aligned to particular people at the club.
They're aligned with the club. So over the last 7 to 10 days, I've all done pieces on Marco hanging on by a thread.
Hit pieces in some ways, yeah.
So, basically. And all of the articles, and I found Andy Hunter's article the other day very interesting.
It was interesting, yeah.
Saying that basically Everton are already making preparations for the next manager. So,
it wouldn't surprise me, because that's how it should be done. But
so when then kind of things start coming out, you start looking and going, right, the inevitable seems upon us then. But, all that being said, he's still in the box seat, Marco, and we get a good result at the weekend, and we look forward to Brighton then the week later. And if we beat Brighton and then we got Watford at home in the Carabao Cup, the picture could look totally different in 2 or 3 weeks. We could all start going, all right, it was a sticky spell. Now we're starting to move in the right areas. I agree. The club have got to make that decision.
I agree, but then there's the problem right now is, right, and I think it would turn the tide in a lot of ways in the fans, but then there's that one more blip. I don't know whether there's a bit, for me, and maybe I'm just being a bit negative, and I guess I am, but there feels like an inevitability at the moment. It's even if we beat West Ham, I still think Brighton could beat us away, because we're not great away, and then the Watford game, I wouldn't like to go out the cup, but then again, is it a risk to bring a new manager for the cup, and then it doesn't work? I don't know. The cup's very big. It's a big game for us.
A lot of people have said this to me as well over the last week or so. What if they lose the 2 league games? You just leave him, but you leave him in for the cup game, and you're like,
you wouldn't like a new manager's first game to be the cup game, would you?
It's like,
would you have
someone said
the cup
to me,
game?
Would you take winning the League Cup and finishing 17th? And I was like, absolutely not. I want to win the cup. Massive 17th.
That's paper over. No, great. I agree. Joe, I'm about to say that's paper over major tracks.
Massively.
Because basically next season you might not win the cup, you might get relegated, so you can't do that. No. And people have been sacked before after winning things. You know what I mean?
At the moment, let's be brutally honest with it. We are massively underperforming. The Everton squad that they have is good enough to be challenging for the top 6. There's no question about that. I think West Ham are one of those teams that are challenging for
Crystal
it.
Palace.
Leicester City, Crystal Palace at the moment. So there's teams up there, Burnley are up, have moved right up the table, and Bournemouth are there. So Everton, should be higher up, and that's why there's such media interest in it, I suppose, because we were one of the teams that was allegedly going to be in the race for top 4, top 6, whatever it is this season. It hasn't panned out like that. It's not. There's a long way to go. There's still 30 league games, but at the moment,
in the title race.
but at the moment, it's a frustrating time, isn't it? And it's, I suppose, Saturday is a high pressure game now. It
is, because, and there's a balance here. You obviously want the crowd to be behind the team no matter what, but then if we go a goal behind, the tension's going to seep in, Marco's going to get tense, and the decisions are going to go. It's a hard game, and as long as this cloud hangs over Everton, and I'm not saying you should just get rid of, I would get rid of him, but I'm not saying Everton shouldn't just get rid of him to remove this cloud. It's the problem until either, as I said to you on the podcast, he needs to show threads at the very least. He needs to show threads of something that's going to change. Even I think he'd lose his job even if we did get beat narrowly. But even if we drew 1-1 and you thought, he's played 4-3-3 there, the movement was great. Dropped a couple of players that we we're not a fan. And you go, okay, we'll go into the next game. We'll go to that Brighton game, and we'll see what happens. But if he doesn't do that, and then even if we do win and the performance unconvincing, I know you've said, well, at least we won, which is true. That 3 points is all important, of course, but unless we see those threads, the doubts are going to continue, and it's very. He's not in a no-win situation, because there's a way for him to do it, but it's very difficult to see what's going to happen. West Ham are a good side, but they're not good where I'd say we should fear them at home. We should be beating West Ham. That's a game you would say 3 points at the start of the season, because we usually done well against them. But right now, I'm very on the fence of what's going to happen. I can see West Ham beating us. I can see us beating West Ham convincingly. I can also see a draw where neither team plays well.
So you can see any result, basically.
I'm on the fence.
You are literally. You've got your finger on the pulse. Could be one of 3 results. Yeah. Oh, you're right.
As Michael Owen says, you need to score a goal to win a game.
Well, yeah. I mean, Michael Owen is we all know is literally the Nostradamus of football.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows everything. The Oracle. I think West Ham dangerous. I think if you're looking at their strengths and weaknesses, I don't think they're great at the back. They've lost Fabianski, I think, is a good goalkeeper. He's out till January. I think the full-backs are decent players, but they leave themselves exposed.
Yeah, they do, which helps us.
Which will help Everton. I think midfield are okay. I think in the final third, they've got good play. Yarmolenko can be a threat with that left foot. Philippe Anderson is a really good player. And obviously, Seb Haller's an excellent player. I also like Lanzini.
I do. I think he was on my list of potential Everton, bringing him a season and a half ago, because I thought he gets through, he links midfield and attack. He
reminds me of Coutinho. He really does plays.
Shame about the injuries is the problem.
The injuries have knocked him
down.
Have knocked him back, but he's a good player. So West Ham do carry their own threat. There's no question about that. And there's no reason why, if you're them, you're not thinking we can go there and beat Everton. Everton are struggling and we're playing okay. So they'll be quietly confident, I'm sure, going into that game. But I think from an Everton perspective, I think it's a home game for us, and we've got to be looking at it and thinking these are the team that we can beat. That they're going to be rivals, I suppose. All you thought they would be rivals. If Everton win, we go within 2 points off them, so we'll be halfway up as well. So the incentive is there for Everton to win the game. I think Everton have got like you said, Everton are massively underperforming at the moment, and when you've got a team massively underperforming.
Just before you go to the thing, sorry, I was going to ask you about, in terms of do you look at the game and think, is it Everton that are going to beat themselves and by not playing and getting the best out of the players? Because if you thought this is the right Everton selection, they're playing the right way, you'd expect to beat West Ham, and we'll get on to the team selection, but that's the worry for me, is that we are going to defeat ourselves in a lot of ways. Not to say we're the perfect team, because we're not, but I think we don't give ourselves the best chance, and because of that, that's where we go.
Do you think, you're talking about the manager's selections, basically?
Of course, yeah.
Because there's 11 players that I would be confident picking and think these will get a result.
Yeah, same. Well.
Because I think we can. Seb Haller's, we were linked with him, but West Ham have done great to get him, and I think he's a really good striker. I'd like to have had him. He's a good unit and he's mobile. But I feel as though the centre backs we've got should match up quite well against them. Philippe Anderson playing off the left
against Sidibe.
He's a question mark. Yeah. Question mark. It could go great. It could be a nightmare for Everton. We don't know. Yarmolenko, Luca Dean. Well, last season, Luca allowed him to come inside onto his left foot and bend one in. So
That's
I suppose
my concern when left footers play against left footers on that side, because right footer players are not too bad switching sides in the sense. Left footer players, it's much less natural. They do struggle to go on there and step.
But I suppose the flip side to that is that Everton will have done a lot of work with
Yes.
Dean this week in terms of, listen, this is what he did to you last year at Goodison, so show him outside, show him on the outside.
Stand on his right
And I
foot,
think, you know,
left foot,
I think, and also in that game, I mean, Yarmolenko scored 2 goals.
It was inevitable,
But other than that, he didn't do anything in the game.
And then he get injured, yeah.
I mean, which I know people go, well, yeah, he's done his job, and he has. I accept that. What I mean is, it wasn't like he tore Dean apart the whole day, but he did. He was in the right. He took his goals as well. But I suppose from Everton's perspective, and the good thing is they'll be able to identify that immediately because it happened last season. So you can plan almost against that. But I think if Everton pick the right blend of player who we've got and they're all available, I feel as though we would have enough. I would be more confident than say if we trot out with Schneidel and Gomez, or Schneidel and Delph and Sigurdsson, or Schneidel and Gomez, and or you know, if it's almost the same midfield that starts at Burnley, I'd then say West Ham would be the favourites here because our midfield's so slow and static. But then again, if you played a midfield of Delph, Gomez and Iwobi with Bernard off the left, then I'd be like that. Come on,
exactly.
Let's do this. Don't forget Bernard was fantastic against West Ham in London back in March. So
pressed them into a lot of mistakes,
yeah, so, you know, Everton have got the players to really hurt West Ham, and West Ham have got players that can hurt us.
Them,
for us, it's about combining them. For West Ham, they've got a couple of big players missing as well, obviously. Antonio, who's been a threat for them, he's out at the moment. They've got Robert Snodgrass, whether you like him or not, he's dangerous from dead balls. He got injured for Scotland the other night, so he's touch and go. No Fabianski. Here's the team that started the last game for them, so it's a 4-1-4-1 for them. Obviously, we've talked about Cresswell and Fredericks, Ogbonna and...
I think Ogbonna's been... Because Balbuena and Diop played, and Diop still... I rate Diop, I know people don't, but I think he has to be next to someone who's going to move him around really and be a leader. And I think Ogbonna's, with his experience in Europe playing for Juventus, Torino, I think he's helped him. He's going to help him a bit more this season. Balbuena was a bit all over the shop, and that game they got beat, I think it was Bournemouth, was it? The 2-2. So... this is the interesting part, and this is possibly what Everton maybe should do when they play against teams that they deem they should beat. Is obviously Rice, which is your 6 here, and then you have Lanzini and Noble. It's a 4-1-4-1, 4-3-3, whatever you want. But then what will happen is, at times, Lanzini will slot into the 10, Noble will drop back next to Rice, give them a bit more cover. So it's quite fluid, really, and when it'll be 4-3-3 with the two of them dropping in as two defenders, and it helps them instead of playing a rigid one system. It's sort of the sort of in out of possession change formation, and obviously and then that allows obviously Anderson, because these can drop back then and provide the cover for the fullbacks, Cresswell and Fredericks. They can get higher up the pitch, which is where Yarmolenko's best. He's not really wants to be inside there. He doesn't want to be outside on the wing all the time. Same with Philippe Anderson. Philippe Anderson's the main, obviously, I think the main threat, really. I know Haller's obviously the striker who's going to score the goals, but I really don't want to see Michael Keane one-on-one with Philippe Anderson in the channel. I think that's important that Sidibe does stick to his task and does stay in front of Anderson, because in space, Anderson could hurt Michael Keane. That's a difficult...
The emphasis will be on Richarlison as well, obviously.
Yeah, because he's going to have to cover him.
He's going to cover. We know that his tackling and everything is being, the work rate that Richarlison puts in. We know that's key. Has been key for us as well. But the thing about Richarlison is, and some people criticise him, and some people think he can't be dropped and blah, blah, blah. But I feel as though he does his best work in the opposition penalty area.
He's not a winger.
No.
He's an inside
so
forward.
What we have to do is we have to get him closer to the goal. And that's on the manager. And you were talking about it then with West Ham's formation. There's no reason why Everton can't have Delph sitting as mirror and Declan Rice, if you like, and then Gomez high up the pitch, Iwobi higher up the pitch. And then try to fair in more advancements of them. Almost a 4-1-2-3 with Bernard and Richarlison playing very, very high up and try to pin them back, because, we're the team that, in my opinion, should be putting them on the back foot. Now, West Ham, we've talked about it. Everton have dominated the possession in most games this season. They've had around 500 passes. They have they're averaging about 60% of the games. But the reality of that is it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing, because we're not doing anything with it. West Ham may come and go, even though they're a ball-playing team, and they're averaging about 450 passes a game, so they're up towards what we do, so they're trying to pass the ball around. They've always done that, Westerwell. That's
West
their
Ham way.
tradition. I mean, Sam Allardyce, he probably hates the pair of these clubs now.
He does, yeah.
But they might turn around and go, you know what, we'll give Everton the ball and we'll play on the counter.
That's my fear, yeah.
So, but Everton, if they do, they have to be smarter, don't they? Just off the back of that, what would you do with the centre forward position? Because we've tried Moise Keane and we've tried Dominic Calvert-Lewin to vary and such. I mean, Dom's our top scorer with 2.
To me, it's obviously you look at the striker position. We are lacking goals, but in where you invert to me, I look what's behind them. Now, to get the best out of certain players, we obviously see now, well enough times now, that Calvert-Lewin and Sigurdsson overall just do not work together.
It's not a partnership, no.
Dom drops too deep to collect the ball, which then brings the defence with him, and Gylfi's not dynamic enough to break the press and beat the defence. So you have a problem there. He doesn't get himself in good positions, and we don't find them enough, and a lot of litany of problems. Then with Moise Keane, he can't play Dom's role. Dom probably doesn't even want to play that role himself, but he can't play Dom's role. He doesn't want the ball to his chest. He doesn't want to be running onto things. He wants the ball at his feet to be able to run at defenders. And if you play a 4-3-3 or if you drop the 10 deep, much deeper, basically it gives a load of space for him to drop into. Now, you need to occupy Declan Rice because obviously screens the back 4. If you had the midfield running from midfield, you'd have to pick a Wobie up or Gomez. You'd have to switch off from whoever, and then it'd open that space up for Keane to drop into and run at Diop and Ogbonna, which I think he could cause them problems. It's how you use the players, I think, and that's the issue. I don't think we've seen the best of Moise Keane. I know there's people who've said he's got a bad first touch. I just don't think we use him properly. He can't hold the ball up. He's not a hold-up striker. Wants the ball at his feet to run up people, get into speed. And he's got great movement. And, the mad thing about Everton is, and you talk about Richarlison and Bernard the way, and Iwobi, the way they've been used wide, is if you did play the wingers narrower, and like a Liverpool or like a Man City do, you're getting them in the box, then you'd have massive spaces for the so if you want to cross the ball, you'd have Dean and Coleman and much more space, than Sidibe in this game. So these are the things that, obviously this is why I've criticised the manager, and this is the things that don't marry up. We can make things easier for ourselves by tweaking things instead of playing so rigid and having Richarlison touch the touchline, which, let's be honest, he's just not that type of player. So we need to get our best goal scorers, whether that is Sigurdsson again this game or Richarlison, in the positions to score goals, and I don't think we do that enough at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem for me, is that with just having one person or Sigurdsson stood next to Dom and it's very rigid and we just throw a cross in and hope it comes off. There's no variation in our play, and that's what we have to do. We've got the players to play many different ways, but without variation to the play, you're going to continue to come up with the same thing. And I feel as though, I think Moise Keane does want to run onto things, but I think he wants through balls. If you look at him at Juventus, he wants things played ahead of him so he can get in. Him coming short and linking the play is not really what he's about.
Defenders coming round his back.
He might be.
He can turn, don't be wrong, he can turn it, but it can't be up at his chest where the defenders push him off the ball. It's the right type of service, and this is when you bring players in. This is why, the manager should be trying to find ways to use them. They shouldn't just plonk them in a team, really.
But your best centre forwards are the ones that do everything. So you'll come short and hold it, lay it off and go, and then other times you'll fall. The thing what I think he does better than what Dom does is he pushes the centre back.
Pins them back,
and he stretches the pitch. I think Dom's tendency to come short and get involved, and then Sigurdsson ends up ahead of him. And then so things are either really condensed,
just narrow,
right, or massively stretched with blocks of space in between.
Which is why we don't,
teams, and our midfield doesn't exploit those spaces. So, it's just so, and you can see it. If you took like a drone above Everton, drone footage, you'd see the big gaps and go,
lines across
why are they staying in those zones?
Some managers that's how corridors where players stay, and I don't believe in that. I think you need better movement off the ball, but
that's all right. I just don't think we're quick enough to exploit that.
In terms of attacking, the key with West Ham is obviously trying to move them around. I don't think they're particularly good at full-back defensively. Fredericks is okay, Cresswell's okay as a defender, but they're not anything special. They should be able to get
their strength to attack.
And basically, you've got to cause Diop's still a young defender. He's still learning in a lot of ways the Premier League. I know he's been here for a year now, but put him under pressure, panic him, keep pressure, pressure. Apply pressure against West Ham worked for us last season. That's what really worked, and I think that we need to again going the other way defensively. That's where we have to be quite smart, really. I think Everton have to make a decision whether they're going to either press Declan Rice, because let's be honest, he hasn't got good on the ball. He just gets rid of it most of the time. So either you try and press him into mistakes, or you think, I'll just let him have the ball because he's going to have to do it. That's a decision Everton need to make. West Ham are checked left-hand side, which is our weak side, of course. It's 42% of the time this season. Right-hand side, 36%.
Okay.
And centrally, not as much. So, again, that's playing to Haller's strengths. Haller wants the ball in the box.
Course,
in the early games, they weren't doing that. Now, at least since they started getting the balls into, you started to score goals, which is key. Again, stopping Philippe Anderson, he's got 3 assists this season, is a big one. And as I say, that's going on Richarlison. But then again, if you played the 4-3-3, it wouldn't be on Richarlison then. It'd be on Andre Gomez to cover the gap, or it'd be on Fabian Delph, whoever was out on that right-hand side. So you can alleviate the stress of the defence by doing that.
That's what they need to be doing anyway, don't they? I mean, looking at the top players for, the ratings, these are off sofa score. Seb Haller, 7.59 is averaging. Philippe Anderson, 7.53. Richarlison for us, 7.2. Then Luca Dean, Yerry Mina. Goals, there's the thing, isn't it? Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 2. He's our top scorer with Richarlison. 1 for Bernard. West Ham, 4 Haller, 3 Yarmolenko. 2 for Cresswell. And then the assists, Luca Dean leading our assists with 2 Coleman and Sigurdsson, Philippe Anderson, Fredericks and Lanzini for West Ham. The 2 records of the clubs, both played 8, obviously. Everton won 2, drawn 1, lost 5. Scored 6 goals, conceded 13, which is shocking. West Ham played 8, won 3, drawn 3, lost 2. Scored 11 and conceded 11. The last 6 meetings between the 2 clubs, Everton have won 3, drawn 1 and lost 2. So like we said before, over time, this has been a fixture that Everton have loved. We haven't lost consecutive home games against West Ham since 1930.
Never time to break a record, eh?
West Ham have won 2 of their last 3 Premier League meetings with Everton, and that's as many as they'd won in the previous 22.
I just had an epiphany, actually, sorry.
Go on.
This is an epiphany.
Yeah.
And this is about these 500 passes. Everton's best performance under Marco Silva. I doubt we've had 500 passes in them games, because most of them have been against top sides, so there's no way we had 500 passes in them games. Burnley, we spoke about it. The reason we beat Burnley last year is we changed to 4-3-4-3, and we only had 300 passes. We made them come out. Yeah. So maybe this control thing is actually going against us, because Marco...
It probably is.
So Marco's teams in Sporting and Olympiacos were better when they were counter-attacking. So maybe let's tweak things in, less control.
Well, that was what we had last year, and that was why when we had that run of 10 games and 8 clean sheets, we were playing on the counter-attack predominantly and a bit more direct, and it worked, and I thought, well, that's the way he wants to go. And in this season, this is why people are saying it reminds them very much of Roberto Martinez's Everton team.
No plan B.
Which is all pass, slow, and teams
get
just
back
sit,
into position,
conceding loads of goals. It is very much like Martinez, and he wasn't like that, and that's the thing that's puzzling me. Everton have lost their last 4 Premier League games. Last time we did that was in October 2005, after the year we qualified for the Champions League, wasn't it?
Oh, that disastrous start of the season.
And we had lost 6 out the first 7, didn't we?
What a game.
West Ham are unbeaten in their 6 away games in the competition. The Premier League, it's the longest run since 2009. Everton are winless in their last 8 Saturday early kickoffs. Last time we won one, can you remember? West putting them on the spot here.
Oh, no, don't. It's Arsenal, no. It wasn't.
No. Chelsea and Naismith got a hat-trick.
Yes, big
2015, the last time we won an early kick-off. Only Watford have a lower shot conversion rate than Everton. Watford are 3.5%, Everton is 5.8%.
And actually, both teams have actually, probably created enough chances to win games.
But we found the net once in our last 47 attempts at goal.
And people point that to the strikers, and I'd say it's the and people go, oh, well, there's the chance they missed. I just don't think we've created enough quality chances.
Well, yeah, Everton have had 31 attempts from set-piece situations, more than any other Premier League side, and yet we haven't scored.
We've got 2 of the best sets of corner takers, probably. I know people criticise Gylfi Sigurdsson, but let's be honest, he is a great... That's what you bought for. He's a set-piece taker, partly. But in open play, we're not great. Partly because of the movement, partly because we're playing to people's strengths, and partly through the rigidness of the attack. But then again, West Ham are going to... The Wolves game, prime example, when teams are ill-disciplined and they do get forward and open gaps up, not Burnley, not Sheffield United, and Bournemouth for some reason sat in smartly by them. When teams do that, we struggle, and I don't think West Ham are going to do that, so we may have some joy. That's been the key. And Man City, while we had a bit of a better performance, is because they went forward. They
honestly, probably our best performance since the Wolves game was Man City. We lost the game, but we were in the game,
We had
or
chances,
we had
yeah.
opportunities within that
They
game
were open sides,
because
yeah.
they were open, and West Ham will be open. So it should be a decent game of footy. I'm hoping the crowd are up for it. It's difficult with 12:30 kickoffs and when you're not playing particularly well, but I think Everton more than any other game this season need the crowd on Saturday. They really do. We need to stick with them, and hopefully the players will come out. And yes, the manager's under pressure, and rightly so. It's a
Some
result.
players are playing for the futures as well,
Well,
because if some of them don't start finding form soon, you know, I'm not going to name names, but they're not going to be in the team next summer.
No.
They'll be moved on for better players, and so you know, players need to show the worth. And if they want to, and if another new manager is watching, if that is the case, then if you're not putting an effort in, you're not going to play. They'll single you out as someone who can't fit in it. So.
Well, they've got to stand up and be counted. You know,
If they believe in this, if they truly
I was going to say, yeah.
believe in this manager, then, you know, because by all accounts, love his training, love whatever, I question that. But if they do, then they have to show they do, because he is under pressure. And the fans as well, the fans need to see something from the manager and the players as well, because at the moment, you know, a couple more losses and you're going to people start to pushing the panic button like under that Koeman year we did as well.
Time to deliver at the weekend. It's going to be a tough game. West Ham have got some dangerous players, like we've said, but it's time for Everton to stand up and be counted, the players. And like you say, if they back the manager as much as they say they do, then the only one way to show it, and it's to go out and perform and get them 3 points, and let's start climbing, you know, get the confidence building up slowly, and let's move forward, because it's been pretty
Who would you
grim
start with?
in the whole team.
Yeah, what would your first 11 be? I know you didn't do the first 11, but someone's shaking his head off camera.
Yeah.
I like to know.
I'd just mix the midfield up. I think that's the biggest problem is the midfield, and that is where a bit. I think one player that has to start, regardless of everyone else, is Bernard.
I think Gomez. My only fear is, and I won't go too much into because Pep Bergo's giving me the eye off camera. Andre Gomez is going to come in. I know. Now I don't want that to be the only change, but I fear that is going to be the only change.
Well, the beach got to play.
Well, sorry, but in terms of enforced, I think the change and I think the formation will be the same. But I think that is my fear for Marco, that he's going to stick with that, and I hope he doesn't. That's all I'm saying. Watch the starting 11 show for the real 11.
Big thanks to Andy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Give the video a thumbs up. And if you want more videos, get over and join us on Patreon. See you later.
Ta-ra.